All right, it's our last stretch, I promise, okay? 2 more strategic directions. Let's look at oversight and accountability. And two messages here for you. Do you remember what our oversight and accountability tool is? Do you remember a tool that we use? It's called a scorecard. What scorecard? It's the Renegade scorecard. So those of you working on accreditation, that's a place that you can go to get information. So we're continuing to deepen our Renegade scorecard, which is a way we communicate to our internal community as well as our external community, okay? The second piece that I want to introduce you to is our early momentum points. And I think we have a slide for that, Aricia. You may recall that the State Chancellor's Office rolled out the scorecard that looked at 6-year cohort data, right? So when we're looking at data in 2017, those students started a long time ago. So the ability for us to be able to impact those students, there's no ability to do that. So the State Chancellor's Office has really shifted the attention to looking at early momentum points. What can we do in real time within the semester so our completion coaching teams can make a difference in real time? So let me introduce you to the set of 5 early momentum points, and some are from the State Chancellor's Office and some may be specifically to BC. So our focus is going to be on these 5 early momentum points. So Jana talked about the 15 units, right? Research shows that if students get done with 15 units, the likelihood of being able to complete a degree is much higher. So we're really trying to emphasize they can't complete 15 units if they're not enrolled in 15 units. So when we did an audit of the information, this is how laser focused we're getting in now looking at student data, okay? So we're looking at reports that Michelle Pena runs for the completion coaching communities, and we're realizing that many students are enrolled in 6 credits. Now, the reality is we might make the argument that those students need to work, but we're expanding our student internship program on our campus, and at this point, we're spending $1.1 million, and we're looking at other sources of funding to expand it. But what is not visible to the student is the financial analysis of completing sooner and being able to earn higher wages as opposed to having to have a job that is off campus. Now, I'm not saying if you're sitting and thinking, okay, Sonia, you don't know our students, they do have to have a job on campus, then we have a part-time student pathway as well, right? So we are letting them know if you can go full-time, this is what the data shows us, but that doesn't mean that you can't go part-time. If you're going part-time, here is a pathway that can make you successful. And even though 15 credits is our goal, we are, if students get 12 credits, we'll be using summer to get them to get those credits to keep on the path, okay, and on track. So when you walk through the plaza, you've just seen 2 displays that Leslie prepared for you. One shows you the completion coaching communities. So faculty, staff, managers, if you haven't signed up for one and you would like to do so, just write your name on a sticky note and put it on it, and Leslie's going to collect it and give it to the completion coaching team, and they'll contact you and bring you into the fold, okay? The second poster that you're going to be seeing, so Aricia has the 10 meta majors and the 8 affinity groups that you're going to see out in the plaza as a big visual, and those are going to be moved to the Welcome Center. If you go to the next slide, what Aricia has for you are the early momentum points in a chart. Okay, can I have that back? So, no, the other one, well, maybe, okay, I'm not sure, I'm confused now. But if you walk onto the ERA building, you will see that ERA has been focused on lean process, and employees, wherever they move in the building, they have displayed visually the momentum points and how they're doing with respect to lean process, training, okay? So you see over the last 3 years the progress they've made. And again, that is a motivator and for us to stay focused on those student momentum points. So what Aricia has up here for you is the data that shows our 15 units attempted in the first semester. You can see in the last 3 years we've been 11%, 11%, 11%. And that is going to be in every building on campus as a visual indicator. How can we communicate that and educate the students so that they can plan their lives to see if they could go full-time. And if they can't, we are still going to support them in a part-time student pathway. So that's going to be one indicator. There's also information about the 30-plus units, but we're not going to have that displayed. We're just going to focus on the 15 and the English and math. Both Regina and Carrie talked about English and math because, again, research shows if students are successful in their college-level English and math, and I'm focused now on the degree completion rather than the certificate completion because I know Liz and Cindy will remind me, then that English and math is really important. So if I could have the data slide on the English and math, please. I want us to give it up for our math and our English department, okay? So you can see we're already setting the trajectory to get these students to complete those 15, 30, and 60 credits. And with the Extend the Classroom that Carrie and Regina talked about, and I loved how both of them talked about their own pathway. Regina's part of the STEM pathway with Steve, and Carrie is part of the English, but they said, but wait a minute, every student must have English and math, so guess what? We need to be part of every pathway because we need to make sure that those students get done with their math and English. So that was pretty powerful when I was listening to the two of them working in collaboration with our academic support. Okay, so that's our oversight and accountability. That's the big push. And when you as a faculty member or a staff in your department meetings ask for that data so you can really see our students getting that math and English, and if they're not going to the writing center or to the tutoring center, you can coach them in your syllabus in other ways. Are you going to that writing center or the tutoring center? Okay. Strategic direction number 5, leadership and engagement. That's the last one, okay? So a commitment to build leadership within the college and engagement within the community. So new faculty, staff, and managers, you're already getting the message, right? We're part of BC. It is about leadership and it's about engagement. And we have what we call the distributed leadership model. I mean, we still need to respect our governance structures that we have. We have 12 campus-wide governance committees. And we need to respect our rules and regulations, and I said that because our chancellor is in the house, so we're, and we still try to encourage local ideas that are connected and moving the entire college in one direction. So in this context, I would like to highlight our international program. Sheree, where are you? Okay, yep. So we have 29 countries represented here, and I was really surprised that India was the strongest in terms of our student population. And we have our 2 vice presidents, actually all 3, who are engaged with Sheree in trying to develop an international student business plan. We have it developed, and the reason we have not approved a director yet is because we want to make sure that we're able to create the right business plan as well, in addition to the vast positive impact we're going to have with having international students in our midst. So we're hoping to get all of that taken care of in 2017-18. So I wanted to mention that, and I wanted to mention to all of you, if you are a newcomer and you have a mindset of looking at policy planning and systems changes, think about signing up for a governance committee. And if you want to be working more with student success, you have your 18 completion coaching communities that you can sign up for. So with that, is there anything else I was supposed to cover here? I'm looking at Monica over here to see. So I think that's pretty much in terms of, oh, yes, no, I have something about leadership. You know, we tell our students that when you are applying for a leadership position, you've got to dress for success, okay? Dress for success. What does that mean? Or is it... All right, so that was a picture again that Zav snapped of Steve at our board meeting, and this sterling silver. We had a great sterling silver, by the way. We were thanking our community for passing Measure J, and we also invited a lot of the campus leadership to be part of it. Do you get the message here? All right, let's roll to the last piece of information here. Every 7 years, it used to be 10 years, every higher ed institution, community college or university, that is regionally accredited has to go through a self-evaluation process. It used to be called a self-study process. And the time is up for Bakersfield College. In 2018, we're going to have a team of evaluators. There are peers that are going to be coming to oh yeah, isn't that a great picture? Yeah. So we're going to have a team of individuals who are going to be coming to our campus, and there are peers, they are faculty, they are administrators who will come here. They will be visiting with the different governance committees, with faculty, staff, to get a sense of what we said in our institutional self-evaluation report, fondly called ICER, is in fact accurate, okay? So we're in the process of developing it. But before we get to that, I just want to take a few minutes to talk about what a precious process accreditation is, and it's something that's very close to my heart. I used to call Kate Pluta my soulmate in accreditation because it seemed as if only the two of us really enjoyed the grueling process of accreditation. And let me tell you why I love it so much, because in many countries, quality assurance, let's go back to the slide with quality assurance and the key words of accreditation here. In other countries, quality assurance is not normally done through a peer review process, okay? You have mandates and standards that are rolled out. And what I think is uniquely positioned the United States of America to be the go-to place for higher education. That's what brought me here. I came here for my master's and my doctoral program because the United States is seen as the beacon of quality higher education, one that promotes creative and new kinds of thinking that advances all of us, the human society, the human condition, and science. So that quality assurance in the United States has always been committed to peer review. And many of us and all of us should hold that dearly to in our hearts, and we need to advocate for it. Again, it goes back to that empowerment, the leadership, whether it's in Washington, D.C. or in Sacramento, to make sure that we don't compromise the peer review. The other piece that is so beautiful is that accreditation is about mission fulfillment. It doesn't say that Bakersfield College needs to be like Taft College or like Foothill De Anza, that is massive in terms of online education, right? It talks about the mission of the college because it recognizes the uniqueness of the communities we serve and the standards that are written within the accreditation document is aligned to providing the colleges the flexibility to fulfill their unique mission. But what they demand for us is a certain sense of consistency and an assurance that we can fulfill the mission, that we can fulfill it from the way we think about our finances, that we can fulfill our mission when we think about our facilities, we can fulfill our mission when we think about our curriculum, and we can think about our mission when we think about all of the support we provide for it. But again, it is unique to the mission. So I'm very proud of this process, but politically, for a while now, it has been under attack. And in my readings most recently, I think we have two pictures here of both Marco Rubio and Elizabeth Warren. And you know, on the political spectrum, when you look at it, they really represent two extremes, the right and the left. But I'm here to tell you, my dear friends and colleagues, that the message coming from both sides is about accountability. And it's different kinds of accountability. From Elizabeth Warren, it's calling about unit data tracking and looking at having a federal scorecard. There is a federal scorecard, and you can go in there and look at how Bakersfield College is stacking up in that scorecard. And Marco Rubio comes at it from more of an entrepreneurial angle of sort of opening it up and not having regional accreditors sort of have the only way of having financial aid flow through, but opening it up to other kinds of ways for quality assurance. But either one of those messages really comes down to the idea of accountability, and accountability focused on the progression and completion agenda. Okay, looking at numbers of progression and completion. And that's why it's so incredibly important for us, you know, when I sent a call to you to consider doing some writing and getting the word out about Bakersfield College in particular, but community colleges in general, is because the students that come here, we know, are very different. First-generation students, and the heavy lift that we all do, it's an opportunity that we embrace, and we're exhausted at the end of that endeavor. That delta, that movement, the change that happens to our students is much more significant than a Harvard or a UC Berkeley, right? So we really need to tell our story. So now let me get to specifically our self-evaluation, and that is an opportunity for all of us to engage in our self-evaluation report. There is a specific item on your agenda this morning that you will hear from our leads. This is the leadership for the work that we're embarking on. It's a tough piece of work. It's going to be taking all of your voices together and creating a rigorous document that is aligned with our accreditation standards, but it has the grace of storytelling. Both Jason and Liz have a whole team that they have assembled, but remember, the team is only telling the story of everyone here. So make sure you, at your department meetings, you schedule time to talk about the self-evaluation report and ping Jason and Liz. Make sure if you are the chair of a committee that you get it scheduled, so that at the end of the day, when they start synthesizing all of this, they really are not leaving a part of BC's story in the dark. Instead, they're spotlighting every one of it in every word, in every sentence that's there. I'm also happy to report that they have selected our editor for the ICER. And the editor for the ICER is going to be Dr. Nick Strobel. And sometimes I wonder why Jason and Liz, that I was like, okay, Jason and Liz, because then they tell me, well, we want more than an editor. Where's Jason? Okay. We need a copy editor, so I'm happy to report that Sarah Barron will be working with Nick Strobel as the copy editor of our ICER. In addition to that, we have our entire accreditation and institutional quality committee that is going to be the steering committee for the self-evaluation work. And AIQ is co-chaired by Bill Mosley and Jessica Wojciak. Did I get that right? Jessica W., where are you guys? Okay. And the AIQ committee, thank you very much. Sandra, thank you. You're going to be doing all of the indexing and getting our work organized. There are many of you who are going to make this a reality. So with that, I'd like to close out. It's fall of 2017. We have 30,000 students out there. It's going to be crazy parking. Students are not going to be able to get into your classes maybe the first day, so start messaging them, and if they don't get to your class on time, please be graceful, but still intrusive. And SGA, you can help us too with communicating to students to not bring their cars and, you know, to really get someone to give them a ride or something like that. But it is going to be a crazy semester. But you know what the good news is? We're going to be working in community, which is our core value. If I could have one of our new employees, two of you, please read out the core value of community. Aricia, could we have community on the slide, please?
But first, let's have your favorite moment personally from the last year.
My favorite moment?
My favorite moment was putting my boss on the spot in front of a bunch of people. But Aricia will have the slide up shortly, I promise you.
Okay. Well, I'm wondering what that is. I'm sure it's a picture of Neo. And by the way, he's really big now. But, okay, so the state of Bakersfield College, since it's the state of the college, is strong. It's never been stronger. All right. So, Francis, do I do the community core value now?
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay. Do we have a reader?
Yes, right here.
Please.
Hi, I'm
Hi.
Erin Justice, Technician 2, Dual Enrollment for Admissions and Records. Community, we commit to the well-being of all members of our community. We maintain strong ties with the surrounding community, and we respond to their needs by serving as an open institution which engages all students, faculty, and staff. In our college, we have built and continue to build an environment in which all members participate as a community through democratic engagement.
Almost.
That was a strike. Well done.
I'm trying to recover.
Someone else?
Community. We commit to the well-being of all members of our community. We maintain strong ties with the surrounding community, and we respond to their needs by serving in an open institution which engages all students, faculty, and staff in our college. We have built and continue to build an environment in which all members participate as a community through democratic engagement.
So in closing, I just realized we hadn't read some of our core values, but we're going to skip out on that. I would just point out, again, new faculty, staff, and administrators, we foster curiosity, inquiry, and critical thinking, the commitment to learning. We did not read the core value of integrity, which is, again, beautiful words that Wesley Sims gave us with a beautiful image that David Coate gave us. We continue to develop and follow an ethical and moral consciousness. And wellness, we believe health and wellness to be integral and foundational elements. And talking about wellness, Cindy's going to kill me if I don't mention that we are a tobacco-free campus. Yeah. And everyone should set a wellness goal. My wellness goal for this semester is to try to get 6 to 7 hours of sleep and to drink 8 glasses of water a day, okay? And so with that, the state of Bakersfield College is strong, and we are Todos somos. We are.
We are.
We are.
We are.